Clinton accuses Republicans of trying to scare voters over crime. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton Thursday said the Republican focus on crime ahead of the 2022 midterm elections was clear hypocrisy, telling CNN's Don Lemon that the party is not concerned about voter safety, they just want to keep voters scared. Clinton, who will headline her first candidate-specific political rally on Thursday night within an event for New York Governor Katie Hochul, lauded President Joe Biden's effort to combat inflation as truly impressive, but said it is more challenging to get that focus on the future than to stoke grievance. But Clinton's most pointed attacks were Republicans centered on crime, telling CNN this morning that she found it ironic and frankly disturbing that Republicans have not been as fervent as calling out the attack on Paul Pelosi, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, as they have been about making crime a political issue. Crime has been a dominant issue for Republicans during the 2022 campaign, with the party spending millions to attack their Democratic opponents for being softy on the issue or trying them at times obviously to have forced to defund the police. This has been clearest in the race between Hochul and her GOP challenger, Republican Liz Zelensky, where the Republican has required crime in New York City in his bid to be the state's first Republican governor since George Pataki, who left office in 2006 after 3 terms in office. Zeldin, according to the ad tracker Ad Impact, has run 6 district television ads in the last month, 5 of which have focused on crime. Some of those ads show video of violent crime happening in New York, including shootings and assaults, all of which the Republican blames on Hochul. Clinton said the focus on crime is a Republicans just trying to gin up all kinds of fear and anxiety in people. They are not dealing with it. They are not trying to tackle it. So I view it as an effort to scare voters, said the former Democrat presidential nominee. While Clinton said she agreed that crime was a legitimate concern for voters, she argued Republicans don't want to solve a problem, whether it is a crime, inflation, or anything else. They just want an issue. The former Secretary of State, who said former President Bill Clinton spoke to Nancy Pelosi after the attack, showed particular contempt for Carrie Lake, the Republican Arizona gubernatorial candidate who joked about the attack on Paul Pelosi. The Republican response to the attack, Clinton said, is sadly a real indicator of where we are in our country right now that you would have people on the Republican ticket like the women running in Arizona laughing about an attack on anyone, let alone an 82-year-old man whose wife to be second in the line to the presidency. I am rarely shocked anymore, but making fun of the attack, somehow trying to turn it into a joke, the same party that wants us to be worried about crime, Clinton said. You know, the hypocrisy is incredibly obvious. Clinton, despite being one of the best known Democrats in the country, has been one of the party's least visible surrogates at campaign rallies in recent years. Her event with Hochul will be the first candidate-specific rally she will headline this year. That New York Democrats are asking for her help to reduce turnout in Manhattan underscores the deep anxiety coursing through the party as election day nears, with Hochul locked in a tight race against Selden. Polls show a ticket race in New York, with a Quinnipiac University survey released in mid-October finding 15% likely voters backing Hochul compared to 46 for Zeldin. Clinton said the tightest in the race between Hochul and Zeldin was more a turnout issue and that the former Democrat presidential nominee expected that Democrats to win on Tuesday. Party in power. We have seen that over and over again in recent history, Clinton said. So our job is to convince our voters to turn out because if they turn out, then there is no doubt we will win. Clinton said the same issue was facing Democrats across the country, including the Biden administration, which now has to convince voters that their actions now will make their future better. It's really difficult to tell people what is going to happen in the future when understandably they are focused on the president, Clinton said. So yes, people were worried about the cost of living, they're worried about the economy, although the Republicans have absolutely no plan to do anything about that. It is more challenging to get that focus on the future.